I was born Nano Nagle in Ballygriffin in County Cork in 1718, but was given the pet name of Nano by my father and lived with that title for the rest of my life. Many years later, the people of Cork would know me as the Lady with the Lantern. At that time and in that place, Ireland was still under the terrible weight of the penal laws, which stated that any Roman Catholic could not enter into civic life. Doors were closed, and in particular, the doors to education. I was lucky. My parents were wealthy, and so when I was 8 years old, I was sent off to France to receive an education, a Catholic education. I was lucky. My family were wealthy, but not all were so lucky. As I grew, I lived in a world of parties and balls and dresses. Paris was a wondrous place, but one day we received a letter informing us that my beloved father had died, so we had no choice but to return home to Ireland. Dublin was a city of pestilence, and the people were governed by superstition as opposed to real faith. Not long after returning to Dublin, my mother died, and I fell into a terrible despair. Now, before I had left Paris, I had bought a bolt of golden silk, and I thought to myself, I'll have something made of it now. But I discovered that my sister had sold the silk to buy medicine for the sick and food for the poor. When I discovered this, I fell into a terrible rage, and in my selfishness, I demanded of my sister, how could she do such a thing? How could I do such a thing? Not long after that, my sister died, and I fell into a terrible despair, and I became determined to be a better person, to do more, to help the poor and the destitute. I would do what I could, where I could, with what I had. And so I returned to Cork City, and I would set up a school for girls. This was a very dangerous thing to do. Not only was it illegal to educate Catholics, it was illegal to educate girls. But I started with 30 girls, and pretty soon my schools grew and grew until finally I had 7. 5 for girls and 2 for boys. The boys were at the insistence of my sister-in-law, Frances. I remember once writing to my friend Miss Fitzsimmons, saying to her, I believed I should never get to heaven because my schools brought me such joy. It wasn't always easy. The path was hard and difficult. But I believed that all of the trials at the beginning were a good indicator and a good sign that we would have success in our endeavour. On September 29th, 1776, I named my foundation the Sisters of the Charitable Instruction of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. The name was later changed from Sisters of Charitable Instruction to Sisters of the Presentation of the Blessed Virgin Mary, at the express wish of the sisters. A year later, on June 24th, 1777, we made our religious vows. In April 1784, at the age of 65, I took my last breath and went home to God. My final words to my sisters were, love each other as ye hereto have done, and spend yourselves for the poor. A woman starts a school in Cove Lane, and another woman keeps it going. And another, and another, and another, until we find ourselves here in this time and in this place. And I ask you the question, did I do enough? Have I done enough?